there. How are my couplings doing today? Sorry, I'm just getting comfortable. And welcome to another Reddit Retail Stories React. Yay! Okay, I'm trying not to be sarcastic. Ah, I've been struggling so much with editing and recording this week. It is ridiculous. So I do apologize for the late uploads. I'm trying to be consistent, and it is so difficult. It is so difficult. Like, I don't know how people do it on their own. It's easy when you have a team. I don't know how people do it on their own. It is so difficult to maintain. It really is. But we will get there eventually. And we will be reacting to five more retail stories. Okay, so one is finally learned to give it back after 5 years. Ooh. Just this last week, I'm a cashier, not a line leader. Ooh, I like that title. Okay, that one I'm most excited for. Customer logic. Yes. I want to read that one first, but it's the fourth one. Oh, and dumb, rude customers. Okay. Okay. So those are the five retail stories that we will be reacting to. I forgot to enable my camera. Okay, let's try this again. Why, hello there. Welcome back. We'll be reacting to five new retail stories. I'm pretty sure I covered everything in that little blooper. There you have it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get reacting. Okay, so first story, finally learned to give it back after 5 years. Working at a bottle shop, we are usually solo. That was my phone. With occasional overlapping where there are two of us at a given time. This particular day, I was by myself. I had to close the store to take rubbish out, take the pallets out, and take my 15-minute break and get change for big notes to small notes from a machine. So I shut the store and had a cardboard clock hanging which said, be back at 5 to 7 or at 7. Sorry, which said be back at 5 to 7 and I had closed at 6:30. So I am already trying to rush my break. I don't mind much because usually the last hour is so quiet. That is technically a break for the whole hour because I make sure everything is done before the last hour or so, which makes sense. Anyways, as I was getting changed, last step before opening the store, the machine is next to the shop. I overheard another store's employees saying he won't be too long. They are usually working by themselves, so they have to shut the store. I knew she was talking about me and trying to defend me. So I look at the person that was spoken to, and he said to her, it doesn't matter. How do I know how long he will be? Then I told him there is a clock on the door and have a look, and he looked up, and it was just under the time the cardboard clock showed. He then looks at the clock and looks at his watch and realizes that not only was there a sign showing when the shop would reopen, but also that there were still a couple of minutes left. As I was inserting the big notes into the machine, he came over and said, take your time, mate. I have got all day. Oh, hmm. Okay. I asked if I asked if he was being sarcastic, like playing around, or if he was serious, and again he said the same thing. Take your time, mate. I just replied by saying, "Mate, I am going to open the store in a few minutes, and if you come in, I am not serving you. So might as well get lost now and go somewhere else." He then proceeds to walk away. It was such a great feeling. I just wish this other guy who has not returned for a while comes back so I can give it back to him too. This guy was always a rude person. One time we ran out of bags, so he asked me for a bag. I said, "Sorry, we ran out," to which he says, "We'll get some." Well, get some. How hard is it? Mm, mm, no words. No words. I'm gonna rate this a 5. Let's just say the things that would come flying out of my mouth would be uncivil. No, just, no. We're starting early with rude customers. Great, great. I love this. So those of you who are customers, please tell me what gives you permission to be rude to people who work in retail? Like, what is it about retail that makes you think, oh, it's okay to be rude to this person? I mean, they're just working in retail. Is that what goes through your mind? Like, I need some context here to as to why you think it's okay to be rude to retail workers. And not just retail workers, waiters and waitresses as well. They get it as well. Cashiers, like, what is it about these jobs that gives you the right to be rude to these people? They do not get paid enough for this. Honestly, they do not. Like, mm, whew, I want to punch somebody's lights out when I hear these stories. Okay, so what do our couplings think of the story, and how would you rate the story, and how would you handle the situation? Because I can tell you right now, my mouth would get me into so much trouble if I were to handle the situation. The second story, just this last week, a little mystery. I work at a small gaming store at a strip. Just this last week, Grumpy Grandma arrives looking for a game for her grandkid, maybe 5 or 6. Rudely asks for an older game, possibly 7 to 8 years old, unlikely to still be in print. I took I took it up in inventory, not available at our store, but a single copy is available at our other store 15 minutes away. She asks if I can bring it over. I confirm availability with the other store and inform her that it will take a couple of days and there will be a nominal store transfer fee. This pisses her off and she wants it done for free and done immediately. While she waits, I tell her that won't be possible, and the best option is for her to make the 15-minute drive, proceeds to swear how useless our shop is, and promise to leave a bad review on Facebook and leaves. Okay, for those of you who do not understand how this works, let me explain it to you. We cannot drive up to another store. Okay, I worked in a bookstore, and there's a few branches of this particular bookstore, and we had to do transfers quite often. So I'm going to explain to you how this works as somebody who you had to do transfers. How it works is you come in, you're looking for a book. If we do not have the book, we'll firstly check our suppliers. If our suppliers do not have the book or the book is out of stock, then we'll check the other stores. Then we'll see which other store has this book available. We'll contact that store, ask them if that book is a customer order. If that book is not a customer order, then we can say, okay, we would have to ask, can you please transfer it to our store because this customer is looking for it? That person would have to go to their manager and ask their manager if we can do that. If the manager said yes, then we'd be like, okay, cool. Transfers like, okay, this store is able to transfer this book. It will take a couple of days because there's a process to this. You have to get store manager's permission. Then they have to contact courier services. Yeah, they have to contact their courier services to transfer the book. We cannot drive up there and get the book ourselves. It goes against company policy. We are not allowed to do that unless we are given explicit directions to do that from, I don't know, the higher ups. But that rarely ever happens. So we have to follow protocol. We are doing our jobs. We are not useless. We are not being rude. We are doing our jobs. Because if we do not do our jobs and we go off and do our own thing just to satisfy you, we lose our jobs. We get a warning, or we get a disciplinary hearing, or whatever. And when that happens, dear customers, are you going to be responsible for our salaries? Are you going to be responsible for finding us a new job? It's like, just again, why is it when it comes to retail or the service industries, like, why do you feel it's okay to be rude to people? Why? Like, it doesn't make sense. Then the books arrive. Then the book arrives, we contact the customer, we let the customer know, and 9 out of 10 times, half the times, the customers will fetch the book. And if the book is on and we let the customers know, we can only keep this aside for you for about 2 weeks, unless if the customer says, can you please keep it for me up until this date? So if you do not specify, we keep the products aside for you for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, if you have not fetched your book, it goes back on the shelf. That is how it works. Well, that's how it worked by us. I'm pretty sure every store has their own protocols that they have to follow, but that is just the basis. If the store says, no, we cannot give you this book, or no, this book is for another customer, then we have to order from our suppliers, which will take longer if they are out of stock. Because they have to get the stock in first, and then we have to get the book on. And again, once the book arrives, if you do not fetch the book within 2 weeks of the book arriving, then the book goes back on the shelf. Again, every store has their own protocol, every store has their own policies that they have to follow, but that's basically how it works. If you don't like it, fine. I understand your frustration, but that doesn't mean you get to crap us out for doing our jobs, for following store policies, because guess what? That is our jobs. You don't get to be all high and mighty and huffy and puffy and throw a tantrum because you're not getting your own way. That's not how it works in retail. I'm sorry, it just isn't. This makes me so mad. The fact that I have to explain it. Oh my. Okay. Druggy walks in with a clear intention of stealing something and is loitering around where the more expensive merchandise is. I make myself between her and the door, yeah, and strike up a conversation. She's clearly annoyed that I'm there and asks me to stop wasting her time. I keep on her asking her questions about the item she's holding. It's a lighting fixture. I was asking her what kind of lighting setup she's going for. Once she realizes she isn't going to walk away unchallenged, she hurls the fixture at my coworker behind the counter, narrowly missing him, and runs away swearing at us. Luckily, no one was hurt. Okay, I like that one. I like that one. Like the fact that retailers they are so aware. You think they don't know, but we know. We know. Guy buys a new PlayStation, easily the biggest sale of the day for us. Okay, so this is the third story, okay, of this person. Um, I'm in the process of checking him out. He's making small talk with the other people in the store. Only his small talk involves inappropriate language. As you can imagine, a gaming store is frequented by families with kids, and other parents are unhappy with this and avoid responding or move their children away. The guy takes offense to this and gets more aggressive, making some really inappropriate comments to a group of young girls. Gets told off by a dad and proceeds to pick a fight with him. At this time, this lady friend who was having a smoke outside sees the commotion, comes in, tells him off, and drags him away. Yes, yes, good for you. I actually like this one. I enjoyed this one. Like the last 2 points or short stories of what happened last week. I actually enjoyed it. It like it does my it makes me so happy. The first one though, I just the first one, ha pa pa. Okay, so this one, I'm a cashier, not a line lead. Oh, the last three stories. I'm looking forward to the like not the last three stories, but the next two stories, like this one and the one after this. Like, hmm, I'm so excited. I was working on the crash register. I had a few people in line waiting to be checked out. After finishing up with one customer, I call out my usual. I can help whoever's next. While the two ladies who were next in line weren't paying attention, so I called out again. As they still didn't notice and the allotted awkward time ran out, the woman behind them came up to me so I could ring her up. There, I finished her transaction and she went on her merry way. Now, the two aforementioned customer finally noticed they had been next as I began greeting. I can take you guys right here. They were pissed. One started yelling about how I helped someone else while they were next in line. They were just overall re- berating me for this while I stood quiet and confused. I'm sorry, if you're next in line and somebody shouts out next and you don't hear them, and they call out for you a couple of times and you still don't respond, either by acknowledging the cashier or by moving towards the cashier, then of course the people behind you are going to step in front of you and make their purchase and walk out. You are inconvenience everyone around you. You do not have the right to go off at the cashier for your incompetence. I'm sorry. I would have okay, the way I would have handled this situation. Um, I would say this is a three. The others I would rate like a one, like one or two because they weren't that bad. It just makes me angry that people like fights with you because you're doing your job correctly. It's like it doesn't. I would have just told that elderly lady like that goes against company policy. If you cannot wait that time, then I can give you the next store your details. Ask them to keep it aside for you, and you can go and fetch it from that store. That's the best you can do in that situation. In this, I would have been like, I'm sorry, I called for you ladies 3 times and you didn't respond. So the people behind you were getting annoyed. So then they came and they made their purchase because you were holding up the line. If you want to scream and shout and be angry about it, then you can be angry at yourselves about it. And if you are going to continue to be rude to me, I refuse to service you. I refuse to help you. You can go to a different store and buy these things. That's that's how I would have handled the situation. I'm like, if you're going to continue screaming and shouting at me, I'm not going to help you. And then I would have called the next customer and like, you can wait or you can leave. One, make a choice. Because I did call for you. You guys did not hear me. You were holding up the line. So the people behind you, they just came and, you know, that's how I would have handled that situation. I wouldn't have screamed and shouted back. I just would have been calm about it and leave it at that. And if they didn't like it, then that's on them. That's not on me. But yeah, let me know how you guys would have handled this. I would really like to know how you would have handled that. Okay, so customer logic. Oh, I love this title. This is chef's kiss. So today when I noticed it was a bit slow and I noticed that there wasn't many customers, so I decided it was a good time for me to go on a quick 30-minute break. As I was going to as I was going to go check out, I noticed this customer started to put her stuff down and on a closed register. So I kindly told her, "Ma'am, this register is closed. Please step to the next one." She almost immediately replied back with the nastiest tone and said, "Well, there's no close sign. You guys really should make one." I don't know why, but I was so annoyed when she said that today. So I laughed and said, "Clearly, there's nobody working on the register. Have fun waiting." That's me. That's me. I love it. I don't know what's up with her since there was clearly three other registers open with little to no customers and four empty self-checkout lanes, and whether or not I have a closed sign up, customers would still put their stuff on the register. Disclaimer: that was not my register. I work as a front end, so I'm not assigned to any register, and I only hop on if it gets busy, with which it wasn't today. Wow. Oh my word. I swear, when I read these stories, I feel like customers are a different species. Nah, 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 guys, no. I love this so much. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing, but this is so funny. Anyway, moving on. I would have, I would not have changed anything yet. This is a one for me. This is not too that bad. I would have not changed anything. I would have most probably handled this the exact same way, just with a little bit more maybe sass and sarcasm. Oh, dumb, rude customers. Okay, I sell alcohol, and so it's my job to see ID. You look young, well, a young female and her boyfriend come up to my register. She literally looked 14, and to try, people still think I'm in high school. People still think I'm in high school. I asked some I asked for some ID and she goes, "It's not for me. He is buying it." I said, "I still need to see her ID. Can't sell to you otherwise." So she storms off all mad and leaves all the bottles there for me to put away. She comes back 30 minutes later with a picture of her ID on her phone. I said, "I need a physical ID. I can't just see a picture." She rolls her eyes and storms off again. I honestly just laugh it off, while her and her boyfriend and some other dude come back and starts yelling at me for not serving them. "Why wouldn't you serve us? You served that white lady in front of us, but not us." I said, sorry, she doesn't have her ID. Can't serve you. Sorry." "Well, you can't serve us. That's discrimination." I just smiled and said, "You can leave now. Bye." When somebody says they need to see your ID, they need to see your ID, not a photo of your ID, an ID. Your actual card or book. If you okay, here in South Africa we have identity books. um y- you can get an identity card, but that's more in recent years. I don't know when we started doing identity cards, but when I went to go apply for my ID, we got a little booklet. We got an ID booklet. Okay, it's only recently that I got my ID card, but they want to see your actual identification, not a photo, not like, "Oh, I'm 18, I'm 16." No, 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 none of that. No, none of that. That they actually want to see your physical ID. Like, what? I'm sorry, you cannot be this oblivious. You just can't be. Unless, which is my suspicion, they knew they were underage. They knew they were not going to get the alcohol, and that's why they acted out the way they did, because most likely the IDs that they had were fake IDs to make them look older, or says that they are older than what they actually are, and that's why they kept refusing to show the ID. That's the only other explanation I have of this. Or it was their parents' ID and they only had a photo of it. Those are the only things I can think of. I don't know. Like, I would have just told them, like, look, if you're going to be disruptive, I can always get security here to remove you off the premises, or you can leave. I say, people still think I'm in high school. Like, guys, I'm not in high school. I've been out of high school for a few years. Like, stop it. But that's just because I'm short and don't have I don't have smokers or drinkers skin, if that makes sense. Like, because I don't do that stuff. So, yeah. And also, I don't spend a lot of time standing in the sun to get that, sun-kissed skin, or in tanning booths that completely destroy your skin. Like, guys, please stop destroying your skin. Please stop destroying your body. Stop it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the health. It's not worth your health. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, please. With that being said, I'm gonna say I hope you guys enjoyed these stories. I actually enjoyed these stories. These ones weren't as hectic as the last couple of stories have been. So this was more of a laid back kind of Reddit retail stories. But if you guys do enjoy these Reddit retail stories, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down what you think of these stories, how you would have handled these stories. And if you guys are customers and you guys want to give me a little bit insights of why customers act the way they do, please leave down your I'm getting tongue tied. Please let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear from a customer's perspective of why you guys act the way you do. Just to like get a bit of more of an understanding. But until next time, bye my couplings.